Hi everybody, my name is Kees Klomp. It's a pleasure to be part of this Buddhist and economics conference in this way. I'm a marketing consultant that applies Buddhist principles and practices to business. I call this corporate compassion, and corporate compassion is the epitome of corporate social responsibility. And that's because it's not so much about doing responsible things, but being a responsible human being. It's about awareness and understanding the way things really are, and translating that into a way of doing business. And Buddhism and business seem at first glance to be two completely separate worlds that have nothing in common, but in fact they're really complementary, and there's a lot of common ground. In my humble opinion, I heartfully believe that Buddhism offers the way out of our current economical and ecological crisis, because I think our current crisis situation is based upon the fact that we're acting delusional. We actually think that happy and money are two sides of the same coin, which is absolutely ridiculous, of course. And I think Buddhism can bring realism into the business place, which is a good thing. So Buddhism, for me, as a person, boils down to leading a beneficial life, beneficial to the happiness of all living beings, the Bodhisattva way. And this is something we can attain in business as well. Business can be beneficial as well. And I even believe that beneficiality is the future of business. The future of business will not be about profitability and profit, but about beneficiality and benefit. And I created this approach which is benefit driven, and I want to share my thoughts about it with you. And I created a dashboard or a model, an approach to make benefit very insightful. And benefit is nothing more and nothing less than the adding up of 8 P's. And I will share these 8 P's with you. And the combination of these 8 P's makes up benefit. So the first P is very basic business stuff, is the P of profit. Companies need to make a profit. There's nothing wrong with making a profit. Profit is economic sustainability. The problem with profit is that if it's the only goal of a business, and a lot of businesses have profit as their only goal, and then it becomes a very destructive force, because it will go into a direction that is destructive for other elements of the business. But the first P, profit. Companies need to make a profit, which means they have to be able to produce in a lucrative way. The second P that decides the valuableness of a company is position. Companies need to have a clear position in the market, the playing field that they're active. If a company is able to create a differentiating, disruptive position in the market, that's very beneficial to that company, and it's very valuable. So the second P is position. Still very basic business stuff. Same goes for the third P, which is propositions. Companies that are able to translate product, price, promotion, basic marketing stuff into attractive, creative propositions are bound to be more valuable than companies that are not able to create it, because people want to consume attractive propositions. So these 3 P's, profit, position and proposition, very basic business stuff. The fourth P becomes a lot more sustainable one, which is the P of people and planet. Companies that are able to manage their processes, their supply chain processes, in a way that is respectful to both the planet and the people are more beneficial than companies that are not able to do it, which is a big challenge for a lot of companies, because a lot of production processes are very destructive. So benefit is made up by the capability to manage supply chain processes in a way that is respectful to people and planet. The fifth P is the P about purpose. Purpose is a very important new development within the business field. Purpose is a goal, a role of a company that goes beyond profit. And one could say companies that are able to play a constructive role in society, that really make a difference, are purposeful companies. And purposeful companies are beneficial companies. So companies that strive to make a difference within society are more beneficial than companies that are just there to make a profit. It makes sense. Then we go into the human sphere, which is the sixth P, and the sixth P is about passion. So companies that are able to enable people to do the work with passion, that enable people to use their work as an expression of their qualities and capacities rather than just a way of earning a living, those companies are a lot more beneficial than companies that just treat humans as resources that enable them to produce products that they can sell to make a profit. So passion is another important determinator of beneficiality. And then for the last two P's it becomes really Buddhist, so to say, because then we enter the phase of the P of pure potential. And pure potential is one could say, I tend to call this cheerleadership. Companies that are able to help their people attain happiness, and then real happiness, which is a lot different than pleasureness. Real happiness is the transcendence of the vicious samsaric circle of pain and pleasure, the clinging to, the holding on to pleasure, and the keeping away of pain. Companies that enable their people to transcend that circle and to reach their pure spiritual potential, what we Buddhists call the Buddha nature. Those companies are a lot more beneficial than companies that just offer people a pleasurable place to work. There's of course nothing wrong with pleasure, but it's a lot different than happiness, and happiness is what all people seek. And companies that create a surrounding where people can attain happiness, of course they are a lot more beneficial to the people, to the persons. And then the last P is the P of prudence, and prudence is a term that was introduced to the economic hemisphere by E.F. Schumacher, who wrote Small is Beautiful, the first book on Buddhist economics. And prudence is about realism. A lot of companies have plans that are based on delusion and fantasy, that don't deal with life as it really is. And if we want to attain happiness, and if we want to create beneficiality in business, we have to respect reality as it is. So prudence is the capacity of a company to not only be aware of realism, the interconnected, interdependent interbeing of all living being creatures within the universe, but also to base its business upon. So prudence is a very important determinator of beneficiality. So if you add these 8 P's up and balance them out, so profit, position, proposition, people and planet, passion, pure potential, and prudence. You have the outskirts of a beneficial, a truly beneficial company. And to emphasize the difference with old school business, I tend to use the word worth rather than value. Value is very much associated with just money, and worth for me emphasizes the money thing, but also the happy thing, so to say. So beneficial businesses are worthy companies, worthy businesses, and worthiness is about what I call the 3 W's rather than the conventional triple P, people, planet, profit. Worthy businesses are about personal wellness, financial welfare, and societal well-being. So a really, truly, genuinely happy and healthy company generates personal wellness, contentment for the people that are associated with the brand or the company or the business. They're financially sound, they create welfare, and last but certainly not least, they create societal well-being, genuine prosperity in the Buddhist sense. And where it all boils down is that these companies play a vital role in the attainment of universal well-being and happiness for all living beings. And it's possible. It's possible. It's not a fantasy. These 8 P's are very much in the middle of any businesses at this moment. Any business is busy at this moment with some sort of relationship with one of the 8 P's. So it's in our own hands. We can turn this system around by using the power and the potential that are in this system, rather than try to create a revolution or try to shy away from the possibilities and the capabilities that are in the system. So I'm very positive about the future, and I'm really enthusiastic about the vital role that Buddhism can play in this. So I hope you have a good day, and I hope my little talk adds a bit to the discussion you have today. And thank you. Namaste.